What's going on, everyone? So, another day, another Kevin Durant update. You're probably going to continue to get daily updates, right? Every moment of every day with Kevin Durant until he is traded. Now, expectation is that he is to be traded by the draft. So, we're right around the corner for that. Hopefully, have a resolution at that point. But we got reports literally, 2 days ago at this point that said basically it was down to three finalists, that Miami, Houston, and Minnesota were the three teams that appeared to be in the race for Kevin Durant, and that those were kind of the three finalists. Miami, I don't see landing. I just don't think they have the assets in order to acquire him. Stranger things have happened. Never say never, but be a little surprised if he ends up in Miami. Two, Minnesota, you can make an argument if you want to win now, might be the best place for him. And then three, Houston, they're the team that, like, if they want him, they can go get him. Why? Because they have all of the draft picks of Phoenix, right? So it's kind of like, hey, you want some of your draft picks back so you can bottom out? Here you go, right? So it was kind of that scenario. But again, Miami, I don't see being legit unless Kevin Durant really just wants to go to Miami, which very well could be. You got to keep in mind, Kevin Durant has a lot of power and a lot of say because he's going into a contract year. So he could easily go like, hey, I don't want to go anywhere else. I only want to go to this team, right? And he could kind of bully his way there, which you've seen on several occasions. You see multiple teams land players just because the players wanted to go to that place and kind of, strong-arm the team that was trading them in order to get there. Kevin Durant could very well do that. But again, Miami, I think, is off the board. Minnesota, based on recent reports, is not anywhere close to being able to put together the package in order to land Kevin Durant. So as of right now, they appear to be off the table as well. So you have Houston, which, again, if Houston wants Kevin Durant, Houston will get Kevin Durant. But Jake L. Fisher recently put out a post giving us an update that Durant may see Spurs and Rockets as highly appealing destinations. Now, here's something about the Spurs, right? One, we've gotten reports, again, assuming the reports are true and accurate. You always got to keep in mind, everything is a rumor, right? Everybody is reporting their own different things. Half the time, they don't even line up, right? Like half the time, it's like one guy saying one thing, another guy saying another thing, but they're both saying it's coming from the Spurs themselves or Kevin Durant's camp or whatever. And it's like, well, somebody's wrong, right? Like, so which is it? So again, always keep in mind, take everything with a grain of salt when you're hearing all these reports and all these talks. But there were reports that Kevin Durant's camp wanted him to go to the Spurs. There were reports that Kevin Durant himself preferred destination was the San Antonio Spurs. So you have the Spurs that want Kevin Durant. You have Kevin Durant's people that want him to go to the Spurs, which, hey, look, you hear it all the time. Friends, family, everybody wants a player to go to Team X, and then that player ends up going to Team Y. Right? Happens all the time. But then you get reports that Kevin Durant himself wants to go to the Spurs. So all parties involved and everybody that's in Kevin Durant's ear all want to see him go to the Spurs, and including Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant wants to be a Spur, force your way to the Spurs. It's that simple. It's that simple. You tell everybody else, I don't want to go anywhere else but the Spurs. Right? Maybe you get a team that calls your bluff. Sure. Maybe a team like Houston goes, we'll take our chances. Right? But they're probably not going to pony up what they need to. Right? So then that would also give the Spurs more leverage in order to get Kevin Durant without having to sell the farm. Because the problem is, like, I don't think Kevin Durant is worth selling the farm for. Right? Does Kevin Durant make the Spurs better? Undoubtedly. Are the Spurs a playoff team? Undoubtedly. Are they a true contender, though? That's the question. Now, there is absolutely a version of that Spurs team that is hoisting the Larry O'Brien at the end of the season with Kevin Durant. There's also a version of that where they're good, not great. Because Kevin Durant is older. What does Wemby look like in year 3? Can De'Aaron Fox contribute to winning? Right? I mean, those were concerns and questions when he was with the Kings. Right? That, like, hey, he's a really good player, one of the most clutch players in basketball, but he doesn't really attribute to winning the game of basketball. He got traded to the Spurs. The Spurs gave up nothing of that, like no core pieces, nothing. And they had a worse win percentage with De'Aaron Fox, right? So that's a question. What does Castle look like in year 2? If you keep your number 2 pick and you go get Dylan Harper, what does Dylan Harper look like as a rookie, right? All of these things, depending on how it goes, could depend on where the Spurs are. Again, if Wemby takes real strides in year 3 and, De'Aaron Fox is just like the ideal fit because now he doesn't have to be the best player. Now he's, the second or third best player, right? And Kevin Durant gets to kind of just fill in, seamless fit, and you go get the other pieces. Also depends on what else you put around those guys. There is absolutely a version where they win the championship. But again, there's a lot of questions about that. And your window is a lot shorter, right? You don't have 3 years with Kevin Durant to kind of figure it out. Like, you're going for it, right? So even if you don't go all in for Kevin Durant, you need to do other things to put yourself in a position to go for it, because you can't wait and ride this out for 2 years and then go, okay, well, maybe we should go make another big splash, right? Like, you just can't. Like, Kevin Durant's not getting any younger. So, and you're probably going to need to sign him a new contract. And is he going to want to stick around? Because at this point, he has no problem leaving teams. This is going to be like his 12th team, right? Like, so at what point does it become too much if you're the Spurs? Where it's like, okay, not only do we have to go sell the farm for Kevin Durant, but then we also got to be able to make other moves necessary in order to put us in a position to win a championship right away. And then there's still a potential you never win a championship and you sell the farm, right? I mean, winning a championship is very hard in the NBA. And you're going to have a lot of good teams that aren't going anywhere. And you're going to have several teams that are going to be trying to do the same thing you're doing. Houston, right? The Lakers, Denver, right? Like all these teams, Clippers, like all these teams are going to be trying to do the same thing you're doing, which is put a competent team together that gives you a chance to win a championship. And OKC isn't going anywhere, right? Like, you're going to have your work cut out for you. A lot of teams that are going to be right in the thick of it in a tough, hard-fought Western Conference. If you can get Kevin Durant at the right price, go get Kevin Durant. I'm all for it, right? If you can get Kevin Durant reasonably, it'd be silly for you not to do it, right? If you told me, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and, the 14th pick and maybe a future pick later on down the road, sure. Why not? At some point, you're going to have to take some risks. At some point, you're going to have to consolidate some stuff. Kevin Durant, worst case scenario, in 2 years, he falls off the books and, you clear out the space as Wemby's getting paid. Like, okay, now you can go make other moves, right? Like, if you can do it, do it. I'm not against it, but it has to be at the right price. If there's this bidding war and you got to sell, and it's Keldon Johnson and, Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan and 2 first and, the 14th pick or, the number 2 pick in the 14th, then it's just like, just keep it. Keep KD. Good luck to you, right? If you don't trade Kevin Durant, guess what? He's leaving you for free in the offseason. We'll just, if Spurs can figure it, I don't know. I don't think they'd be able to because they're going to have to give De'Aaron Fox a new contract, whatever. But you figure it out, right? Work out a sign and trade in the offseason, whatever you have to do. At that point, you might have already found something else and moved on to greener pastures. Who knows? But look, if Kevin Durant is really interested, you have Jake Fisher now saying that Kevin Durant is interested in the Spurs. Okay, well, if he's really that interested and everyone, wants him to go to the Spurs and Spurs obviously want him and all that stuff, make a play. Throw the Spurs a bone so that way you can go there and make it happen. Otherwise, move on, right? Pick your destination. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.